my name is Celeste. Welcome back to my channel. As I am filming this right now, it is Halloween night, so happy Halloween to those who celebrate. That is why I am currently dressed up. If you know who I am, you can go ahead and tell me. Otherwise, I'm not gonna say anything. Maybe do incorrect answers only, that would be funny. Okay, part of the reason I dressed up is because Halloween is my favorite holiday. But the other reason is because my job, I work with kids. So if it gives them some semblance of joy that I dressed up like my coworkers did, then I will dress myself up. And bonus, they liked my outfit and they liked my makeup, which I never do because I'm lazy. So that was pretty gratifying. Made me feel good. Anyway, let's get into what this video is going to be about. It is going to be an October wrap-up, but also a TBR video. Just put two in one, so it's not like 2 7-minute videos. So yeah, we're gonna get into what I read this month, and I have my stack here. This is not all the books I read because I do have a Kindle, and I did read some library books on there, so I will talk about those as well. First up, we have Truly Madly Deeply by Alexandria Bellefleur. This is a romance novel that follows Truly, who is a romance author, and she is brought onto a radio show with Colin, who is a divorce lawyer. And like right off the bat, they're button heads. They're just going at each other like this. And basically the book, after that point, it follows the development of their relationship. And yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed the romance and the subplot that was included as well. But like, I enjoyed it purely for entertainment's sake. Like, there wasn't anything deep going on in this book, at least to me. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a romance. I always tell myself I don't like romance, but I guess I'm kind of getting into romance this year. I don't know. Actually, a lot of books on this wrap-up had romance included in it, so maybe I am a romance girly? Next, I read Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio, who did write If We Were Villains, which is one of my favorite books of like pretty much all time, I think. I have to reread it just to make sure it still sticks, but after reading this, it definitely made me want to pick up If We Were Villains again. But Graveyard Shifts follows 5 late night smokers in a graveyard, and it's a graveyard they frequent quite a lot, so if they see something that's like weird, they're like, wait a minute. So one night they do stumble upon something weird in the graveyard, and that is that one of the graves is dug up. And so it goes into the 5 characters trying to solve this mystery of why this grave is open. And I really like how Emma Rio writes her characters. I think they're all very different, and she also kept them very unique throughout the book, and they all contributed something to the mystery. It was very Scooby-Doo-esque, and I actually really enjoyed that. I think one review I read said that it was Scooby-Doo, but I think they meant it in like a bad way. But I'm saying it in a good way because I like Scooby-Doo, and I just really liked the mystery in this. It was really good. After that, I read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This one is a massive one, but I really like this cover. It's gorgeous. Anyway, this is the 4th book in the Harry Potter series, so I won't get into too much of what it's about, other than that it follows a boy. His parents basically sacrifice themselves to protect him from this evil guy, and now he's going to wizarding school where he's learning magic and stuff like that. And he's basically like a chosen one kind of character. This book was like top tier. I pretty much liked every aspect of it. I wish that the movies could have taken like every single thing out of these books and added them to the movies, even if they were kind of like unnecessary. I think it would have just added so much more to the movies, even though then they would have been like 9 hours long. I feel like people would still be into that. I feel like people would sit through a 9-hour long Harry Potter movie. I would. So yeah, Goblet of Fire. Next on my Kindle, I read Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. This is one of her earlier novels, and it follows Stephen, who is a paladin, whose god that he worshipped was killed, like, in the very beginning of the book. And it basically follows his grief with that and how he develops further along, because it takes place like, the book takes place like 3 years after this has happened, and he gets caught up in a mystery with this woman, Grace, who is also a perfumist. Words are hard. And basically they just get together and they try to solve the mystery, and it also has a little bit of romance between them. And I liked the romance, I liked the plot, I liked the mystery aspect of it. And I like T. Kingfisher's humor. It got to me a couple times. Like, I did have a couple moments where I was like, that was funny. I'd like to add that this book also takes place in the Sword Art universe, so if you've read that, you might enjoy Paladin's Grace in that series. Because I read Sword Art before Paladin's Grace, and I liked both. If you need more T. Kingfisher books, go check out Paladin's Grace and that whole series. I also want to say that I really like the way she writes her characters. I think they're very real, and they have their quirks to them that make them more real, and I just really enjoy that. After that, I read Crush by Tracy Wolff. This is basically if Twilight met Vampire Diaries met Vampire Academy. It definitely pulls from all three of those, especially Vampire Diaries in this one, with particular characters. If you have read this, you will know who I'm talking about. But yeah, it follows this girl. She is brought to this academy after her parents have died, and she finds out that the academy is not all that it seems to be. So yeah, it follows this. I can't get into what this one's about because it's the second book of the series. For me, I enjoyed this one more than the first one. And there's a very specific reason why, as to why I enjoyed this one more. And it's kind of what I mentioned earlier about Vampire Diaries. So if you read this, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you. Next, I read A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, and I'm gonna come and say and admit that I did not really like this book, and I feel like that is not a majority opinion. I feel like it's a very unpopular opinion. I think the rating on Goodreads for this, like, overall is like 4.2 or 4.02 or something like that, so that's pretty highly rated. I would say this is like a Twilight book if Bella was a historian and a witch. The main character is a historian and a witch. Her name is Diana. She summons this alchemical book that a bunch of creatures want to get their dirty little hands on, and she is like in danger, and then comes in the vampire character Matthew, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought both the main characters were very boring, and the plot was like pretty much non-existent. A lot of what happens in the book is like very drawn out activities that she does with Matthew, and it's just like, why do I have to read about her everyday life when I want to read about like vampires and stuff like that? I also feel like there was no semblance of like danger in this. Like the author like goes into like how dangerous it is that she brought forth this book or manuscript, but then like I didn't feel any sense of danger throughout the whole book. Even when like things happen that are like meant to be like life-threatening, I didn't feel like anyone's life was threatened at all. I just thought it was boring. And I'm gonna get more into that in a vlog that I'm still recording. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there because otherwise I'm just gonna rant and rave about this. It's not for me. I do wanna maybe read the second one because the premise is kind of interesting, but also I'm like, would that just be a hate read at that point? I don't know. Lastly, I read the next installment in The Summer Hikaru Died by Moku Mokuren, and basically this follows Yoshiki, his friend Hikaru, who went missing, and when he comes back from being missing, Yoshiki's like, wait a minute, you're not Hikaru, who are you? And he's like the only one that like realizes that this is not his best friend. This book in particular had a bunch of like creepy imagery in it, and I really like the author's art style. I think it really captures like a bunch of aspects of horror that would otherwise be like unseen. Like you wouldn't get the creepy factor that this author puts into it. I also like the mystery element that is like starting to come in this little arc in this book, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I need more now, but I don't know when the next book is gonna come out, and I want it now. I am currently still reading Star Daughter by Shveta Thakrar and The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I also never started Needful Things, so these books will be carried over to my November TBR. So I'm probably not gonna pick a lot of books for my November TBR because I also have another one that I'm planning to add to this TBR that is not, I just got because it's for a book discussion at my local bookstore. So I definitely want to get to that before Monday, which is when the discussion is. So I got these behemoths, and hopefully I don't add more like 1,000 million long page books because I will cry, honestly. So the first book that will be on my TBR is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. This will be my first Sally Rooney book. I do have Normal People, but I have not started it yet. It is on my TBR. I actually don't know what Conversations with Friends is about, but I'm gonna assume it's about conversations with friends, as the title says. So yeah, that's book number 1 on my TBR. So now we're gonna get into the physical TBR jar, which I have not touched since whenever I did the October one. So I think I'm gonna pick four books maybe, since I am carrying over 3. Although I'm thinking that Way of Kings will probably be like a continuous one, just since it's so long. So I'm gonna just keep that one on like a sort of back burner TBR, which I will still be reading it, probably like a couple hundred pages every month, but I'm not gonna like, it's not gonna be like my main focus. So I guess I won't really count that one, but Star Daughter and Needful Things and Conversations with Friends will definitely be on my TBR. So I'm going to pick 4 more books. So yeah, let's get into it. That was a very long-winded explanation that didn't really need to be that long. So you guys are gonna see it first. Ooh, actually, all right, Normal People by Sally Rooney. another Sally Rooney. So I guess I will be reading Conversations with Friends first, and then I'll be getting into this one. Luckily, the thing about these books is that they're pretty short. This one is less than 300 pages, and I think Conversations with Friends is a little bit longer. But I feel like these books are pretty easy to read, so I should be able to get through them pretty quickly. So, not mad about that one. Alright, let's pick 3 more. Did I pick an orange? I think I picked an orange one, so I'm gonna pick this green one. Girl, I don't know what this is. Oh! This one's funny. Okay, Tiger's Curse. So this is Tiger's Curse by Colleen Hook. Basically I read this in middle school and I really enjoyed it in middle school. I'm pretty sure it's a young adult novel. I'm not entirely sure, but it basically follows this girl with, I believe they're Indian princes, but they can transform into tigers. And that's like basically all I remember from it. But this one, while it is long-ish, it has, sorry that took so long. It has 402 pages, but it should be a pretty easy read, and I'm excited to get into this one. 2 more. I'm not gonna pick that one. I'm picking this one. Actually, you know what? Since it fell, we're gonna pick both. Those are our last 2. Our fate has been decided. XOXO, I think. This is by Axio. That took a long time. I was struggling to find that. I didn't know where it was. But this is XOXO by Axio, and I'm pretty sure this is like a K-pop romance, which I'm not complaining about because at the moment I really like K-pop, so I ain't mad about that. Also, it's a romance, so should be pretty easy to read. I'm getting some pretty nice books, you know? I ain't mad. For once, like last month, where I got like books that were over 500 pages. And if all books are like 500 pages long, that's too much. I can't read that much. And the last one, I did not peek at it. Is it upside down? Is it upside down? Oh, okay. Green Rider. This is a book my aunt gifted me. All right, so this is Green Rider by Kristen Britton. It basically follows this girl. She stumbles upon a man who is slumped over his horse with 2 arrows in his back, and he tells her that he is a messenger for the king and that he can no longer continue his journey with this message that he has that is very important, and he urges her to take the message to where it needs to go. And yeah, actually after reading the synopsis on the back, I'm actually pretty interested in this, so hopefully my aunt doesn't lead me astray. I hope I like this one. So here is the TBR plus those other books that we're carrying over. The TBR for this month. I'm excited. I think I'm pretty much excited for all of them equally. There's not one that I like really want to get to. But yeah, I think it's kind of funny that I got 2 Sally Rooney books for 1 month. Do you think that'd be too much, Sally Rooney? Will I even like her? Who knows? So yeah. If you got this far into the video, leave the racehorse emoji for Green Rider, and let me know if you have read anything recently and what you thought about it. And I'll see you in another video. Bye.